just the moment we realized that we messed up. We had taken up way too much time out of not knowing what to do. Madeline walks right out.
I don't know. I just don't know that you think.
Yeah, I'm back.
Jackie, I lost him out. Is that bad?
She was going to confront him right now. Yes, call him back. Yeah.
What should I say though? What should I say?
Someone back,
You left? That's bad.
No, they just did not. No, get him. No. Tell me how another outfit for him to like look at or something like that.
Okay.
And tell him, can you please back up? If he starts hesitating, like please come back up, please come back up, please. And then sit him down, and then kind of talk to him sitting down, and then we'll go out there. Okay, this better work, and this time we better not waste any time.
I'm back with another video.
Hey, do you mind coming back up for a second? I totally forgot that I had this other costume. You can come back. I'm done. We're going out there and talking. Yeah, I mean, like, I won't try like to just like look at it or something.
Alright, yeah, I'll circle back. I said the phone call.
Okay, cool. I'll meet you out there.
Perfect. We have been given another shot of redemption, and like I said, this time we are not wasting any time. After about 10 minutes or so, Madeline finally returns with Ryan.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Very good.
I can hear lots of noise, that's for sure.
Are you fucking kidding me? Who's this? Who's this, Ryan?
What's going on right now?
Who is this? Not answer me. The person right fucking next to you, I'm pointing at. Who is she? What do you mean? My friend. Your friend. So you take all these guys out and tell me you like them, that you single?
So Ryan, this is apparently what all of this part of the deal was going to test, okay? Like everything that you went through and everything that you told you wasn't all real, okay? From the moment that you met her, from the moment that she asked you for some gas money, from the moment that she paid you back and you didn't stop the or whatever, stuff like that, that was all part of the whole test. Okay, like she was working with us, she was working with the girl, because the girl don't want to find out if you were in Facebook with her or not persuading her. And you literally completely just ended up trading for like another girl.
No. He's right. He did. He fucked up. No, I don't want to look at it.
Okay, I'm not going to deny that, but I fucked up.
And I said I'm back with another video. Let's go. Yup. Some light. Some light.
No. You say sorry, but
Some light. 10 kills. 10 eliminations. Yup. I'm gonna go back to lobby.
all you gotta do is just not cheat. No, don't say you didn't cheat, because the only reason why you didn't actually go through with this was because it was a test. But I guarantee you, if this was real, you would have 100% without a doubt gone through it, and you know it.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I might have, yeah, Carla, but okay,
You didn't have a girlfriend. Who am I?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. You said that to me already, but it doesn't fix or change anything.
Okay, well, what can I do to make things go back to the way they were?
How am I supposed to trust you now? All I do is one girl come up to you, flirt with you, be all cute, whatever, and you completely forgot about me. It's like I didn't exist. Did I even cross your mind?
Yes, of course you crossed my mind,
Then
Carla.
why did you do it? Huh? Why did you do it?
Yo, Johnny.
What's up,
I don't
dude?
understand.
Hey, look at my stream. I just got a victory, bruh. 10 eliminations. Alright, but replay. Go to the first, like go to the beginning. I barely started stream. I only got like 2 minutes in. Like just go back on the replay.
My dad and I did everything together. But
Tell me when you're watching.
He ended up calling a stranger to our home just to get back at my stepmother. I can't remember exactly how my family imploded, but my mom found out my dad was having...
Easy dub.
So hear this. I finished
10
school.
eliminations,
I go to college
some
today
light.
and become this dope vet animal savior, Mother Teresa, Oscar-winning salsa. And then I start slacking. It begins with me meeting new friends. going to some cute parties, and somehow I ended up meeting up with a dude near the dumpster. Party boy dumpster. Every day. So me attending lectures was pretty much not happening. I knew my life was heading towards a shitty place, but I loved my dumpster meetings. I mean, I knew I could juggle math easy, but English?
Johnny, you watching?
Not my thing. Like, I'm sitting in class, 8:30 a.m., hangover, struggling to even pronounce Shakespeare's last name, which I already forgot, by the way. So dealing with my little issue went something like this. I chilled, partied my ass off. I avoided that class like there was a plague brewing inside. But I'm getting all these emails with the headlines like English failing.
Like 31?
On hold.
Huh?
See you next
31?
semester with the same class. When the end of the year came, that's when the panic kicked in.
Why, you can't find my YouTube channel or what?
Done.
Is it called Samantha Gonzalez?
No, search up Johannes, YOHANIS _ sin. And then press on the
Johannes?
YOHANIS _ sin. SIN.
Your choice to be here all semester.
There's no space, no capital.
I sit in the corner trying to.
Alright, now go on the GTA video and go on the channel and go on the first Fortnite video. I'm live right now.
And the hush falls over your classmates? Yeah. And that's
You're watching?
feeling times 10. Students sat up
Yeah,
right in
that's the
their seats.
beginning.
They stopped
Alright.
talking, moving, blinking. I'm 99% sure some of them stopped breathing.
You have like the best in the
Like the
game.
wrinkly Voldemort who
What do I have? What do I have?
not even
We had
died.
a suppressed star, a golden pump, and a purple tactical SMG,
Yeah.
and a full
Piercing
action.
eyes.
But he had that one grenade launcher, but I still killed him. Watch. Just watch it.
I wanted to
Snowball
avoid.
launcher?
Yeah, he had the snowball launcher.
It was too late when he asked this question.
His snowball launcher's gonna
Blondie
look
in the back.
Yeah, but I still beat
What was
him.
the intention behind Shakespeare's words and stuff?
Look at my emulations, my kills.
Wait,
and that's all
was
nice.
Shakespeare?
I'm about to get 10.
I was sweating like a fat tomato in the oven. 5 minutes of silence went by before I say, good intentions, sir? And then he's like,
Did you snipe him? How did you kill him?
out of my class.
I sprayed him.
Now. So I started packing my things.
I sprayed him. I think I pumped him or I sprayed him. Either both.
Fast. And my mother murdering me wasn't a bad idea after all. So I call her and I say that I was out. Out for good. College was not happening for me. I thought she'd be mad. But she didn't even care about me dropping college. But then she tells me to pay her back the $11,000 she spent on college fees. And I'm like, just kidding, Mom. Love you. So the next day, I was back at Big and Voldemort's class. And before he starts teaching, I go talk to him so I won't get kicked out like the last time. I give myself a long-ass pep talk. And then I go. I pull up a confident act like I was an alpha. What happens instead? I stand there shaking. I don't even dare look into his eyes.
Yo.
I like your shoes. Can I sit? Do you know what this man did? He put his finger on my lips. Yeah, that's how he led this discussion. I could hardly say anything. If you want to discuss your grade, come to this address at 6. He's like a gross little...
What part are you at right now?
And was gone.
When is this social media there's no launcher?
Oh yeah. Let's keep on watching. Well, you can skip it a little bit.
On a date? Did you think that at such a moment I'd say...
I got murder on my mind.
...and live under a bridge?
I get what we said. I knocked him too, so
I'll be fine.
that's a good part for me.
I was
Yeah, you did spray me a little at first.
So I slap on a turtleneck and some
You're
heels
not
that
allowed
made
to
me
do
walk
an
like
kid.
0.001 miles.
Man, look at what we're doing right now,
And I'm ready
bruh.
to go. When I arrive at the address, I want to puke and pinch myself
Now
all
you
at the
spray
same
them.
time.
You spray them.
He lives in a trailer house. No one
Yeah, back on another
The
video.
dumpsters anyway. Before I knock on the door,
Okay,
I
wait for me.
decide to
Don't
hit
idea.
the record button on my phone. he opened, and I
what?
realized that I just got myself in.
I ready up?
I was standing outside the professor's house in an itchy turtleneck and heels.
I left.
And
I'm in the lobby right now.
the piano playing.
Oh no.
I could see the flicker of candles and smelling food in the oven. As for my professor, well, he's dressed in a yellow, shiny outfit like a junkie from the 70s. And he even had blonde highlights in his puffed hair. Was he trying to impress me? He smelled like he just showered in an old lady.
Hey, today, when are you gonna open presents? Today or tomorrow?
Good luck, Professor.
When are you gonna open presents? Today or
The
tomorrow?
next 2 hours of my life were
Then I'm going with my
absolutely
dad's.
insane. He plucked a roasted duck.
I'm gonna open it tomorrow
Then
morning.
he asks, how bad do you want it? I wanted
Cause my mom
to obviously really
I know, we used to do that, but my mom works at night, so in the morning she comes.
I managed to hold
we
my
open it.
tongue. I told him it meant a lot to me. The whole class thought his lectures were too challenging. When he puts his wrinkly little hand over mine and says, I want to rub
I'm gonna invite you.
his delicious feet against my face and sniff them. Wait, what? Why would he want my gorilla feet in his face? And why were his hands so damn soft? Did he use anti-aging cream? Okay, focus. I need to abort. Now! I run to the exit, and like a speedy, creepy little Dracula, he's blocking the door. He's blocking my exit, and he's begging me to stay. Now,
Yeah.
I've seen enough movies to know
So what do you wanna do? Little duels
my
or
brain is yelling, run! Kick him!
you wanna? What you wanna do? Just tell me what you wanna do.
Okay, karate chop this weirdo. But I stood there and I my headlight. He caressed my face, but he was hiding it. And I wanted to.
What you wanna do, bruh?
I wanted to flee the scene, so
Mama,
I'm nervous.
go my
cat had
stream.
diarrhea, and
I really want that emo.
He tells me to check my phone. All I have
The
to do
ride-
is send my own new
ride
back.
some
And
shit.
I got myself an A.
Right along.
He stepped out of the way. I ran to my car. It took all my willpower. to
Come on,
get the
man.
phone.
Let me get that
And there
emo.
it was.
Come on,
A
man.
picture of him, up close and personal, with nothing on. I wanted to go blind. I had him for class the next day.
You have it? You have right along?
But I didn't. I had to give a presentation.
Right along?
And I thought maybe,
Go in another shop?
maybe if I really nailed the next few classes.
Alright, let's say creative.
I strolled up,
Hey, you know you can split screen now?
but I couldn't look at it. He sat front and center. But it was like a nightmare. Every time I glanced in his direction, all I could see was that horrible picture he sent me. When I finished my presentation, he put his
Oh, yeah,
hand
you
on my
can- you
back
can
and
do
said
it, but
with a
you
smirk,
need PlayStation
"That's
Plus."
one of the best presentations
I have
I've
PlayStation
ever
Plus.
heard." Now, I'm not sure if anyone saw me cringe when he touched me, but I'm pretty sure my skin had tried to jump off my body and run away. Even though it was gross, I started to feel a little hopeful. Maybe he would actually pass me. Yeah. No. I opened my school account and staring back at me was a big, fat F. You know how evil that little letter feels staring at you through the screen? It's like it wants to jump out of the report card and say, "Oh, here, look at me! F for fail! You failed! You failed! I'm gonna ruin your life!"
I'll think about it.
It became clear over the next few classes I wasn't gonna pass.
Whoa,
That is, unless I did it.
whoa.
For a second, I thought about reporting him to the school, but what's a big thing to do?
Freaking tired, dude.
Managing anything. A lawsuit? I bet they'd rather flunk me in all my classes and get me out of there. The day before my finals, I stood in front of the mirror with no clothes on. Man,
Where you at?
do I not like looking at myself?
Oh, there you go.
A baggy sweatshirt and
No way. You have the...
my body.
No, Johnny. You got the minty... I could get
look
it.
good in the photo. I arched my back. I did the
How did you get that?
poses. I puckered my lips like a fish.
Oh, yeah, I
Like a
forgot.
buttock.
You don't need no pack. You don't need a pack. You don't need a card to get the code. You just go to GameStop, bro.
So wrong.
I know you go to GameStop, you have to buy something Fortnite related, and then
Yeah.
they give you the code.
You want some hot chocolate?
Yeah. I wish I could have some.
But
You want to see my snow globe?
I couldn't bring
Bro, this
myself
thing
to
is
look at it
nice.
as I said.
It's really...
So I hit send
Well, it doesn't
my
look like
address,
hot chocolate. It looks like
and
muffins.
bam. Now Voldemort's got my name.
Alright. That's 1v1, dude.
Yuck.
Put a mat. Put like a 1v1 mat.
Gotta do what you need to survive. Next day, I go to the test. Knowing I had already passed this course. Yeah. I sit there like a queen, smirking at life, and I write nothing on my test paper. But then, Professor comes to my desk and whispers in a chilling voice, "You're not passing
Johnny,
this course."
do you love me?
Smells my hair in the creepiest way and walks away. Did I just allow myself to get blocked by a 90-year-old who can barely stand?
I haven't hopped on in a while.
A text message from his laptop came over the giant projector.
Have you seen me active?
This was
Like on Fortnite?
chance. After all, what on earth was he thinking
Johnny.
leaving that on?
Yeah.
Have you seen me active on
I
Fortnite?
typed out, "You look so hot in your shiny gold panties."
Because I haven't played.
Send. The message came up over the board. You know that feeling that everyone is looking at?
Any gun?
Yeah. The whole room with
Alright,
their
let me get
heads
my
down like
gun.
fucking owls that second. Then the duty came. I attached the photo.
There's no healing?
His gold
Yeah, yeah,
workstation.
no healings.
The professor
bet.
panicked and slammed his laptop. But get this. It kept showing up on the projector. The whole class goes silent for a moment, and then we hear on loudspeakers,
Come
"I
on.
want to rub your delicious feet against my face."
Why you bullying me?
Come on.
What up?
Repeat. You would have thought that the stomach flu washed over
come on.
the class. People started getting
What the fuck? No, nigga. Why you? No, nigga.
5-year-old.
How the
I
fuck?
swear he was even crying.
You're invisible, bro.
How you do that?
That's
Other girls
all you
came
need.
forward,
I'll
and
respawn
the
now.
Professor
Alright.
was fired. Truly was given a
Reset the
passing
building.
grade.
She said, "No, you don't have to
For a
break my
person in
building.
a
There's a
position
button."
of power to send pictures like that, it's messed up.
How do you turn invisible? You gotta tell me, bro.
I'll tell you right now. After the
Oh,
next.
it only works in this world?
Yeah.
I had a huge crush
God
on my
damn,
best
Rusty.
friend Brian for years.
I'm not saying
That's
what,
why
bro. I'm
he
just
desperately
saying this
wanted to be his
one.
girlfriend.
I haven't not played, bro.
I've been
You-
playing Minecraft, bro.
What the fuck? Nobody's talking about Minecraft.
That's the point. I haven't played. I've been
When
playing
Brian and
Minecraft.
I had a private conversation, she would often come over to us, stick her breast out, and talk like a dumb little
Bro,
girl.
so look how bad my aim is right
Brian,
now.
I forgot my
Look how bad mine is.
Can I borrow some of yours? Well, Brian is a nice guy, so he gave her $2. But then she hugged him right in front of me, pressing her breast against his body. Of course, I wanted to strangle her.
Oh,
Everyone
okay.
knew that Brian and I were almost in a relationship. He
Oh.
was openly trying to steal him away.
Yeah, you think you tough?
I was on my way home from school when my skin started to prickle. I looked at my arm and noticed
Alright, show me,
that
show me,
it
show
was
me.
completely red. I got
What
so
the
scared
fuck?
that I took a rest, but the prickling slowly turned into such an intense pain that I ended up screaming and jumping like
show me.
someone had set me on fire.
Oh, with this?
Luckily, a policeman saw me and decided to take me to the hospital.
Oh,
I remember lying
man.
on the bed and peeling
What
off the
the
first
fuck?
layer of my skin.
This is-
It was so disgusting. But then the doctor told me, "I'm sorry to inform you that your skin has developed an extreme form of
Where the
oxygenic
fuck are
leukemia,
you?
also called water allergy.
Oh, so we can play
Even small
that
bits of water
game.
will cause an extreme
Fuck, I don't have
allergic
nothing
reaction
that
to your
could-
skin. That's why your sweat almost killed you today. From now on, you can't shower or sweat anymore." Gosh, it felt like a death sentence. But the worst part was that I couldn't go to school anymore to defend Brian from the hoe, Sarah. I knew
Ah,
I
you
had
beat
to
her
act
head.
fast. So I waited until my skin had recovered, and then I immediately invited Brian over to my house, while my parents weren't home. When I opened the door for him, he was shocked to see how I was dressed. I was wearing nothing but a short bikini, and when we went to my room, I picked up a sock from the ground to show Brian my butt. But then came the hard part. I told him about my water allergy and how I couldn't clean myself with water anymore. And instead
You run
had
faster,
to use
what?
powder.
Security?
He
do
didn't
way
believe
faster.
me at first, so I put a drop of water right on my breast. It slowly
And
ran
then,
down
Roger?
into the bikini, and within 2 minutes,
you build
a
way
rash
faster.
had formed. I
Too
asked him if
fast.
he still liked me despite my condition, and he said, "Of course I do." Well, that's what I wanted to hear.
So I pushed him on
Oh
my
shit, you
head
could jump higher
and sat on
too.
top of him.
I know.
I asked, "Did you ever kiss a girl?" And he responded, "Of course." I said, "Well, I've never kissed a boy before." He didn't respond. I guess he was too nervous, so I took the next step and went down to kissing. I can't tell you what happened next, but I made sure he had a good time. When our date was over, I gave him one last hug and said, "Wow, you are absolutely amazing. You can always come by at night when my parents are asleep." You see, I was willing to do anything to make him my boyfriend. Did I feel like a hoe? Yes, a little bit. However, my plan had failed, because when I checked Sarah's Instagram the next week, I saw that she had posted a photo of herself eating ice cream with Brian. Of course I was furious, and I knew I had to act fast. So I invited Brian over to my house again, and this time, I made sure he had an even better time. I had bought myself a revealing bunny lingerie costume, and we did all kinds of things together. At one point, I sat on his lap and asked, "Are we in a relationship now?" He responded, "I do like you a lot, but I'm not ready for something serious." Ouch. That was not what I had wanted to hear. I said, "Come on, please. You know I love you so much." And he responded, "Okay, I'll think about it." However, the next day, Sarah came to my house. She smirked and said, "I saw what you did with Brian yesterday. In fact, I recorded you two through the window on my smartphone. I wonder what your parents are going to do if they find out that their daughter is a naughty little girl." Oh, damn it. I knew my parents were going to kill me. Sarah continued, "I want you to break off all contact with Brian, or I will show your parents the video." I had to hold back my tears and only said, "Okay, he's yours." Honestly, I had no choice. My parents were so strict that if they saw me naked doing dirty things with Brian, I'm sure they'd kick me out on the streets. So I wrote Brian one last message saying, "Hey, this between us won't work out. I want to move on." When Brian responded, "Oh, okay," with a sad smiley, I started crying uncontrollably, even though my
get one
face
pump.
caused rashes
Get one
all
pump.
the way down my face. I
That was
really
already
thought
low.
my life was over.
No kidding.
But then Brian knocked on my window. Gosh, this was so romantic.
You were alone.
And when I opened it, he was looking as handsome as always. He said, "Hey, it's okay if you don't want to see me again, but I need to know why." I couldn't hold back anymore and said, "Of course I still want to see you. I love you more than anything else."
Bro, this is so
Brian
fucking weird.
asked, "So why did you send me that text?" That's when I told him how the hoe, Sarah, had filmed us last night, and that she was extorting me with the video. Brian said, "Yeah, that sounds just like her. But I'm gonna move into my own apartment next week. If you want,
Boy, that was
you
the
can move
best
in
fish
with me.
ever.
Then you're far away from your parents."
Alright, no more turning
I said,
invisible.
"You want me to live with you?" And he responded, "Yes, I would love to do that. But there is one condition. I will continue to see other girls, because I'm not ready to be in an exclusive relationship with you for the rest of my life. And I will also continue to see Sarah. Of course, I would have preferred to have Brian all for myself, but I loved him so much that I was willing to compromise." 1 week later, I moved in with him. But just the next day, Sarah came by. She was dressed as always, wearing a super short dress, looking like a hoe. She said to me, "Hey, sweetie," and I responded, "Oh, you must be tonight's guest." We all sat down on the couch with Brian in the middle between us. We were watching a movie, but
I'm
I
underground, I'll
didn't
say that.
enjoy it. The hoe
I'm
was
going all the way
constantly
down.
huddling herself against Brian. 20 minutes into the movie,
I went all the
she
way
even
down.
sat down on his lap and made out with him. If that wasn't bad enough, Brian took my hand and put it on her leg while kissing her. And that's just
How do you
how the
not
night
see me,
started.
bro? I'm like in the
The next
clear.
morning, the hoe
Ah,
was
you're
gone.
invisible.
But I got an SMS
No, I'm not.
from my dad
Trust,
which
trust,
said,
trust.
"We found a USB stick with a video of you and some guy. You're sick. You need to come back home
I'm right
now."
next to the
But I didn't
blue
care what my
pump.
parents thought of me.
Blue
I had
yard.
Brian, and he was all I
Blue
needed.
pump, blue yard.
Life was good. Well, at least until he told me that Sarah was going to move in with us for 2 weeks because her parents had kicked her out. I said, "Okay, but
You
if
are
it's
not
for
here.
more than 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I'm going to move out again." The first night,
Are you
she
seeing me
was
building?
saying that Sarah was terrible.
Yeah.
She
Oh shit, you are
complained,
here.
"Why is the air conditioner so strong?
You are invisible.
I'm freezing in here." Then Brian explained to her that I was allergic to my own sweat, so we needed to take
Oh,
it
you
cool.
fucking
She
beaner.
started giggling and said, "Really? So how do you take a shower?" I said, "I don't take showers. I clean myself with powder." That's when she bursted out laughing and said, "Oh, that's why you smell so bad." Gosh, I hated her. And the next morning,
The
she
mic is
woke
so
me
loud.
up, screaming, "Oh no, she peed herself." I looked down, and indeed, my pants were wet. Sarah must have spilled a glass of water over me. I immediately rubbed it dry with the bedsheet, but it was too late. Both my
Why
legs
did
were
I do it
completely
first?
covered in rashes, and I cried out of pain. Once I felt better, I confronted Sarah. But she denied everything and said, "You know me, I would never do that to you." I realized I couldn't let her get away with it, so I decided to secretly film her and Brian loving each other. I thought I could extort her, just like she had extorted me. But when I showed her the video, she only responded, "Wow, I look great. I'm sure my daddy would be proud of me." Wow, she was such a hoe that she didn't care about her reputation at all. So I knew I had to do something even more extreme to get revenge on her. But it was too late, and she beat me to the punch. She made Brian and I sit down on the couch and said, "I have some
Wait, I was
wonderful
gonna
news
do
to share with
something.
you." Oh gosh, I knew this meant trouble, but I still wasn't prepared for what happened next. She pulled out a pregnancy test and screamed, "I'm pregnant! I'm pregnant!" My heart dropped because I knew it was over between Brian and me. There was no way I'd help him raise
What?
Sarah's child. He freaked out too, screaming, "You camel, you got pregnant on purpose." But I had enough of this insanity. I said, "Congratulations, Sarah. He's yours."
Huh?
And then I took my stuff and left. Going back home wasn't easy though.
Why?
My dad was still furious about the video of me and Brian. He shamed me for hours, saying a promiscuous girl like me would never find a husband. He said guys would just pass me around. Of course, I felt ashamed of myself, but I responded, "Dad, I made a mistake. I get it. But I'm also 18 years old and not a child anymore." Then he opened his laptop and started playing Sarah's video of me and Brian doing dirty things. I quickly had enough, closed the laptop and said, "If you don't want to support me, fine. I'm gonna leave again." I actually didn't mean it. But my dad responded, "Fine, go leave us and meet some guy. That's what you're best at." Wow. I left the house and sat down on the stairs for a moment. What was I supposed to do now? I had no idea. But when I checked my smartphone, I saw a message from Brian. It said, "She is not pregnant." Sarah was only faking it. I just kicked her out, and I want you to come back. I love you, and I promise not to see any other girls anymore. Hey, I'm Lily, and this story is about my
Where you guys at?
classmate Pablo. He always hit on me, saying things like, "Nice booty, come over to my house and we can party, just the two of us." It didn't matter how many times I told him to
Double
stop.
put double
It
pumping
just got
on.
worse. And no one dared to stop him because his dad
Oh, wow.
was a politician.
Yeah.
See, I live in Honduras, and our government is very corrupt. If you stood up to Pablo, he might tell his dad he needs to be beaten up, or worse. When I was 17, I suffered
What double
from
pump?
water allergy.
Wow.
Doctors didn't know why, but whenever water touched my skin, it burned like acid. I made an announcement to my class to tell them to be careful and not throw any water on me because I'd get badly hurt. But of course,
Who wants to go and answer double pump,
laughed
bitches?
and cheered.
Who said that?
You got to shower.
Wait, Johnny, what? Who said that?
Next to the block,
You. Why you said that?
I didn't say nothing.
desperately trying to wipe the water
He
off.
said who wants to 1v1 me, bitches.
A small rash
I didn't
on
say-
my skin, and it was very painful.
I didn't say
Pablo
bitches.
still didn't believe
You
me.
just said it right
but I didn't say
now.
that. Yeah, I just said it right now, but I didn't say it earlier.
Alright, who said that? Who said that? Because that sounded just like Johnny.
Cause me and my friend have like, they say, me and him always say the same.
Sorry, I didn't
Alright, hey, tell him to talk then.
deserve to be treated like that.
Huh?
My
Tell him to
God.
talk.
I had a crush on Simon for years, and now
He doesn't have a
talking
mic.
to me? He was
Then how did he say it?
always
Huh?
laugh.
He uses a voice message to me. It sounds like him.
boy.
Weeks later,
I'm saying it doesn't make just like talk.
I couldn't go into the water because of my allergy, so I changed into my bikini
He's
and played
shy,
volleyball
that's
with
why
some of
he's
my
shy.
friends.
Man.
Yes, he gets shy.
How are you? He asked.
Trust,
I said,
trust.
fine. I really didn't want to talk to
Oh, you're
him
not
after
gonna
what he
trust
did
me
in
like that,
class.
brother?
But then he said, I still think you're lying about your water allergy. So he pulled a water pistol from behind his back and squirted water right at my chest. Within seconds, my skin turned red and I wanted to scream, but I couldn't because I was struggling to breathe. The next thing I remember is waking up in a hospital. My mom was there and she told me I'd almost died. She stayed with me as long as she could, but she still had to work to support our family. So eventually, she had to go. Guess who came into my room after she'd gone? Yep, Pablo. I wanted to scream at him to go away, but I was too weak, so I just glared at him. He said, I'm sorry, Lily. I really thought you were joking when you said you were allergic to water. I already told your mom that my dad will pay your hospital bills. And if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. That creep. Did he really think he could just say sorry and let his dad find his way out of trouble? No way. I pressed the buzzer for the nurse and told her to throw Pablo out. But a couple hours later, Pablo snuck back into my room wearing a cheesy mustache. He brought roses and apologized over and over. I gotta admit, it was kind of cute to see how hard he was trying to say sorry. I let him stay, and we ended up watching La La Land on his laptop. I know it sounds stupid, but I started to think he wasn't that bad. When the movie was
I
over,
give up on
Pablo
this
didn't
game.
go home. Instead, he slept on the floor next to my bed. He said he wanted to be
Whoever
near
wants
me
to, I'm
if
down.
something happened.
I'm down for
He
anything.
was my shadow until the doctor said I could go home. As we walked out of the hospital together, he kissed me, and I kissed him back. Yes, he'd been a jerk, but people can change, right? Our first weeks dating were awesome.
I'm gonna go back to
We
lobby.
hang out at his house, and it was amazing. He had a tennis court, indoor swimming pool, even a private cinema. But slowly, his behavior changed. He started to tell me what clothes to wear and who I could be friends with. Sometimes, he'd order me to come to his house just to send me away again 25 minutes later. I wasn't going to let him treat me like that. But when I told him I didn't feel respected, he laughed and said, I don't care how you feel. I promised my dad we'd get married. And he gets mad when people break their promises. You don't
Guys,
want
I
to be
gotta
my
go.
dad when he's mad. I asked,
What?
don't you want to
I
marry
gotta
a normal
go.
girl who isn't allergic to water? You're always complaining that I smell
Peace
bad
out.
because I can't take showers and have to use powder to clean myself. But he said, you're the girl I want. If I can't have you, no one else will. So I stayed with him. I was afraid of what his father would do if I tried to break up with him. Pablo's behavior got worse though. He started cheating on me and he didn't care that I knew. But then I started going to university and everything changed. Guess who I met in the library? Simon. When he saw me reading a book, he came over to say hi. His smile was cuter than ever, and all my feelings for him came flooding back. I asked if he was still with his girlfriend, and he said, no, we broke up some time ago. Wow, it felt like this was fate. We sat together and talked for hours. We just stayed there all night. But I got a text from Pablo demanding I go to see him. I hated saying goodbye to Simon. And while I was with Pablo, I couldn't stop thinking about my high school crush. When Simon and I met again at a coffee shop, I confessed that I'd loved him for years, but was too scared to leave Pablo. Without saying a word, Simon pulled me to him and kissed me. I never wanted that kiss to end, but I pushed him away saying, you'll be dead if Pablo finds out. I don't care, Simon replied, and kissed me again. We started dating in secret. For a few months, I thought we'd get away with it. But one night Pablo asked me, I hear you're close friends with Simon from school. I gasped. What? No. He's just one of my classmates. I hardly know him. Pablo said, Carlos told me he saw you and him kissing. I protested. Carlos is lying. But I could tell Pablo didn't believe me. You know what I have to do now. It's all your fault, Pablo said. I started crying, begging him to leave Simon alone. But Pablo pushed me away and ordered two of his dad's security guards to go with him. After they left, I rang Simon and told him to leave town or Pablo would come for him. Simon persuaded me to go with him, so we agreed to meet up at the city bus station. Before I left, I stole 2 small Inca statues from Pablo's house and knew they were made of pure gold, so I'd hoped they'd help me and Simon to start a new life. When we met at the bus station, we fell into each other's arms, kissing passionately. I was so happy to see Simon alive. We took the next bus to Mexico. The whole journey, I worried about Pablo coming after us, but we arrived safely. It took a while, but we found someone willing to sell the statues for us, and got way more for them than I expected. We were able to buy ourselves a little house. It was a world apart from Pablo's, but it was ours, and we were happy there. Although we weren't trying, I soon fell pregnant and gave birth to our son, Frank. Simon went out to work while I looked after the baby. Everything was perfect. I should have known it was too good to last. One night, masked men broke into our house and took me with them, leaving Simon and Frank behind. They took me to a small private airstrip, and that's when I realized Pablo had tracked me down. I cried the whole flight back to Honduras, terrified that something bad had happened to Simon and Frank. When we landed, as I left the plane, I saw Pablo standing there with a big grin on his face. He came up to me and said, "How are you, sweetheart?" He tried to hug me, but I pushed him away, screaming, "What have you done to Simon and my baby?" Instead of answering, he just smiled and told me to get into his car. I had no choice, so I did what I was told. When we arrived at his house, I immediately felt like a prisoner. Pablo said, "Now that we're finally reunited, I'm going to marry you as soon as possible. Let's say tomorrow. Before you think of saying no, remember, I know where your mom lives." I was devastated. My son and boyfriend were gone, and now I had to marry Pablo? As a sick joke, he invited my mom to our wedding. She was so happy for me, and I couldn't tell her the truth. She loved the idea of me marrying into money, because we'd always been poor. She had no idea how miserable I was. The ceremony was weird. It was only me, Pablo, the pastor, and my mom. At the altar, I asked him, "Why me? Why not some other girl?" And he replied, "The more you despise me, the more I want you." That was the beginning of my new life. I was a prisoner in a gilded cage, but it wasn't as bad as I had imagined it. I was allowed to go out sometimes as long as one of Pablo's bodyguards was with me. I'd drive an armored luxury SUVs to go shopping, but it felt wrong spending Pablo's money. My country is so poor, and I hated living in luxury while there were kids begging on the streets. Of course, I also never forgot Simon and Frank. I promised myself I'd run away and find out what happened to them, to see if they were still alive. But then the worst thing happened. Pablo got me pregnant. I was trapped. There was no way I'd leave my baby with Pablo. But if I took him with me, Pablo would hunt me down again. When I gave birth to my second son, Lucas, Pablo's dad started spending a lot of time with me and Lucas. As I got to know him, he seemed like a decent man, so I told him how Pablo was treating me. His reaction stunned me. He said, "My son's an idiot. He should know better than to treat a woman that way. I promise you, if you raise my grandson well so he's nothing like his father, I'll make sure he gets my full inheritance." Then he told Pablo never to lay a hand on me again. I was part of the family and deserved respect. Pablo's dad gave me a house and a baby, as well as a monthly allowance. It's not a bad life. And I love Lucas dearly. But I can't forget Simon and Frank. I just hope I see them again one day. After my mom...
Yo.
My dad and I went through a tough time. We only made it through by supporting each other. But after a year, he found a new girlfriend. Her name was Karen. She seemed very nice and always asked if she could help me somehow. Things were good until they married and had their first child. Suddenly, whenever my dad spent time with me, my stepmom would throw a tantrum and tell him to play with my sister instead. I thought it was unfair, but I was too shy to speak up. And it got worse. My stepmom quickly turned my dad against me. She told me how I was a bad influence on my stepsister because I was dressing like a tramp. Unfortunately, my dad agreed and gave my stepmom permission to go into my room, to take out all my clothes, and to throw them into the trash.
Suddenly, I was only allowed to wear my dad's old white t-shirts. I was so mad that I took all my stepmom's expensive bags and cut them into pieces with scissors. Of course she went nuclear when she found out and told my dad to kick me out. I screamed back, "I'm only 14, you can't kick me out, and I didn't cut those bags apart. You did it yourself, so you could blame me." However, my dad didn't believe me, and as a punishment, they took away all my stuff, including my laptop, my TV, and my books, and then they sold everything on eBay. I was furious, but also scared. My dad didn't protect me whatsoever. He was completely on her side. And then my birthday arrived. I was expecting my dad to congratulate me in the morning, but instead he told me that he was going with my stepmom and stepsister to Disneyland. I broke down in tears and cried for hours. No one cared about me. When they came back, my stepmom was dressed as Mickey Mouse and screamed, "Oh my God, this was the best trip ever. We had so much fun." And to make things worse, she put up calendars and framed photos of their Disneyland trip all over the house, showing how much fun they had. I knew I wasn't a part of the family anymore, but it still hurt how my dad completely stopped caring about me. A couple weeks later, my uncle came to visit us. He always speaks his mind, and when he saw my little stepsister, he said, "Oh, she's almost as pretty as her big sister." My stepmom got furious. She screamed, "My daughter is 10 times prettier than our hideous stepsister." And then she proceeded to throw my uncle out. But suddenly, I felt like I had gained back some power. And whenever I saw my little sister, I said, "Oh, how is my ugly duckling doing today?" Of course, my stepmom freaked out when I called her daughter an ugly duckling, but I took it further. I told her, "I don't understand why my dad even wants an ugly child like yours if he has someone like me." Of course, I didn't believe what I said. My stepsister was very cute, and I loved her a lot, but I did whatever I could to anger my stepmom. Unfortunately, though, she was smarter than me and recorded everything I said and showed it to my dad. He said he was deeply disappointed in me because I had insulted my little sister. Then he gave my stepmom the authority to punish me in whatever way she wanted. I told him, "No way I'll let that witch tell me what to do." My dad screamed back, "You have no choice. You either do what she tells you or we will kick you out." I was only 15 then, so how was I supposed to live on my own? I didn't want to become homeless, so I accepted my fate and did whatever my stepmom told me to do. It was mostly housework, many hours of it, but sometimes I even had to massage her. However, at age 16, I had enough. I didn't want to work for my stepmom anymore, so I took all the valuables I could find of my dad and stepmom and ran away. I sold them for $5,000, which might sound like a lot, but after 2 months, I had spent everything and became homeless. The first night on the street, I slept behind my mom's tombstone in the graveyard, but in the morning, some guy hushed me away. Next, I found shelter in a church. I used an old school book as a pillow, but I didn't feel safe there, so I left and became homeless again. I was walking down a dark street when a police car stopped next to me. They said a 16-year-old should be at home, so they rang my dad's house bell. When he opened the door, he didn't look relieved to see his daughter safe and well. Instead, he was angry, but not as angry as my stepmom. She gave me a long speech of how I was a hideous person who had stolen her money and stuff, but I didn't care. The next day, I took my dad's credit card and booked a flight to Los Angeles. I had a cousin living over there, and she allowed me to stay at her place, even though it meant we had to share a single bed in a dorm. She recommended me to get a boyfriend with a job so I could move there, and that's what I did. I put on a skin-tight dress and tried to look as sexy as I could. Then I went to a high-end club, and to my surprise, the bouncer didn't even ask for my ID. I mean, I was only 16 years old. And inside the club, I approached a guy who was very well-dressed. We got talking, and he told me how he was working at a big company. I know it sounds shallow, but that's what I was looking for. I wanted shelter and stability. That's why I went home with him the first night. His house was actually quite big, and I asked him, "What exactly are you doing for work?" He told me that he was working inside his dad's company. So that explained how he could afford this. Well, over the next few days, I tried everything to become his girlfriend, and it worked. I've been living with him now for 2 years, and I was even able to start going to college. So do I love him? Well, my honest answer would be no, and that's why I'm going to break up with him as soon as possible. He's just not my kind of guy. Hey, I'm Caroline, and my neighbor made my life hell by listening to loud music every single night. I knew I had to get rid of him, so I set him up, and now he's in prison. Let me tell you how I did it. It all started after I got my promotion at work. Finally, I had had enough money to move out of my mom's home. And loud.
It is 3:14. You're 4 minutes late. Late.
Metal music. Ugh. I waited for 5 minutes, hoping he would turn down the music again, but nothing happened. So I decided to knock on his door. I can't sleep, I answered. Oh, I'm feeling so bad for you. Maybe I'll come and pay you a visit later. What do you think? He said with a big smile on his face. Then he closed the door and turned the music up even more. Wow, he wasn't just a jerk, but he was also threatening me. I immediately called the police. But all they could do was ask him to turn his music down. But as soon as they left, my neighbor turned his music up again. I might look like a nice and sweet girl, but you better not mess with me. It took me less than 5 minutes to come up with a plan to destroy this whole man's life. And here's how I did it. Right the next day, when my neighbor entered our building, I left it so he knew I wasn't at home. I had left my apartment door wide open and placed a couple of $1,000s on my table. I knew if my neighbor saw the money, he would go and try to steal it. That's why I planted a video camera into my apartment that would record everything. And I also asked my best friend to overwhelm my neighbor in case he would try to steal the money. Well, everything went as planned. And after my neighbor had picked up the money, my friend threw himself on him and held him down until the police arrived. I was there too, and it felt so good to see him being arrested with handcuffs and all. But of course, he knew I had set him up. So when he saw me, he screamed, "It's not over yet. I will come and find you." However, he shouldn't have said that in front of the police, because when it was time for him to be trialed, he not only received a 2-year prison sentence for burglary and attempted theft, but another 6 months for threatening me. I was so happy that he was locked away. But then something very scary happened. 1 week later, I was walking down the street at night, when suddenly the doors of the car right next to me opened with 2 men coming out of them. I immediately knew they were coming for me, so I started running as fast as I could. I hadn't done sports in years, but in college I was in the varsity team, so I knew how to run. And trust me, I ran. For at least 1 minute they were right behind me, but they couldn't keep up and quickly gave up. After I escaped, I immediately called the police, and it took them less than a day to find video camera footage of the car that the 2 men had come out of. The owner of the car was a notorious member of a well-known biker gang. You know, one of those losers that need to drive loud motorbikes to feel important. When the police investigated further, they found out that my old neighbor was well connected to the motorbike gang, and he had ordered them to kidnap me or even do worse. The police said my life was at risk, which is why they brought me into the witness protection program. Now I'm living in a different city with a new identity and a new job. Of course it sucks, because I can't meet up with my family or my old friends anymore. All we can do is talk via video chat. But at least I got justice. Because my old neighbor and the 2
There's only one.
kidnapped me all received life in prison.
Oh my fucking god, nigga. Get that shit.
They're locked away forever. I'm so glad this nightmare is over. And I hope my story was able to illustrate.
There's only one. There's only one, nigga. Trust me, I've been looking for
If
them.
my old neighbor had treated me with respect,
I know both of them there because I was talking.
and if the 2 bikers hadn't tried to kidnap
Can't see shit.
my god, nigga!
My name is Vicky, and I grew up under terrible conditions because my mom was mentally ill. She often made me steal stuff from shops because no one suspected a little girl like me to be a thief. Of course I was scared of being caught, but my mom gave me no choice. However, one night she drunk too much and fell down the stairs. Suddenly she couldn't walk anymore, and I had to take care of her even though I was only 11. We quickly ran out of food, and I said, Mommy, the fridge is empty and I'm hungry.
See?
Stop complaining. Instead, you'll have some cockroaches so we can eat them. Was she serious? I was petrified of those disgusting little insects, but I still tracked one of them and showed it to my mom. She told me to cook it, but we only had a toaster, so I killed it and put it in there. After I'd given it to my mom to eat, I caught many more roaches and even ate my very first small baby cockroach. It tasted okay, so I started to catch hundreds of them and became the provider of my family. But then the toaster broke and we had to eat them raw. Of course they were extremely dirty, so we often got sick, but at least we had a full stomach. I continued living like this for weeks until people from the government came into our apartment and took me away from my mom, even though I screamed and wanted to stay with her. I was brought into a children's home where people explained to me that my mom was mentally ill, that no one wanted to tell me where she was or who was taking care of her. I felt abandoned and scared, but there was one thing that made me feel safe, and that was eating roaches. So whenever I saw one, I picked it up and put it into a toaster and ate it. The taste gave me a feeling of comfort because it reminded me of my mom. I started eating so many of them that I got salmonella infection and had to go to the hospital. When I told the doctor that I was addicted to eating cockroaches, he brought me to a psychologist who told me that there was nothing wrong about eating roaches as long as they were clean. He convinced me to start farming roaches, and that turned out to be much easier than I had thought. All I needed was a box of roaches and some fruits to feed them. After a few months, I had more than 1,000 of them. But I made a big mistake and let them roam around my room freely, because one baby roach crawled through my nose and into my brain while I was asleep. I didn't know what was going on, only that my nose hurt. I kept it untreated for several days until I visited a doctor who saw something moving way up my nose. It took several hours to pull the cockroach out, but from then, I always kept them locked in my box. But I had bigger problems. I had no friends or family, and I was feeling extremely lonely. That's why I started binge eating cockroaches. I probably gained 10 kilograms in 3 months, and I knew I had to change my life or my roach addiction would kill me. I still remember my last roach. It was a small baby one, maybe 1 centimeter big. I ate it raw and alive. Then I brushed my teeth and said, never again. Afterward, I thought I needed an education to get ahead in life, so I taught myself writing and reading by spending most of my days at the library. 6 months later, I enrolled myself in university. There I moved into a dorm, but the other girls didn't like me. They said I smelled bad and looked like a pig. I guess they were right. My mother had never taught me to clean up anything, and now I had to learn to shower daily and wash my hands when I got home. But because no one liked me, I had lots of time to study, and it reflected through my grades. One rainy afternoon while at the library, I bumped into a guy. He was dressed in all black and apologized. I could tell he was different, just like me. I asked, what are you studying here? And he responded, I'm studying philosophy. We sat down at a cafe and talked for hours. He was just like me. He said his family had raised him on a farm, but mostly neglected him. He said they didn't speak a single word with him from age 11 to 16. His only friends were books, until he ran away and found a job as a construction worker. But his love for reading brought him to a university, just like it did for me. I had a weird feeling when I looked at him. I can't describe it, but it felt good. And 1 week later, we had our first date. We were lying next to each other on the grass when he laid his hand on my belly. Of course I was nervous. I had never had a guy touch me. I didn't know what to do. But then he just kissed me. It was the most intense feeling I've ever had, and I got so aroused that I bit into his lip. He said ouch and went back on his back. I apologized and saw that he was bleeding. Gosh, what had I done? I was so stupid. I said, I'm so sorry. I've never kissed a guy before. It's okay, don't worry. I just didn't know you liked it that way. What do you mean by that way? You like it rough. That's okay. No, I don't think so. He went back on top of me and gently choked me. Do you like this? I couldn't speak, so I just nodded. I loved the way he played with me. It was the first time I felt truly attracted to a guy. Afterward, we became a couple and spent all our time together. I loved sitting next to him in the library so I could watch him read books. He always looked so handsome. But one day, he was just gone.
He didn't respond to my text, and his doormate said he had disappeared without saying anything. Of course, I was worried. Maybe something had happened to him, so I called up all the hospitals, but he wasn't there. Maybe he had left because of me. Maybe he didn't love me anymore. I suddenly remembered my mom. For years, I had avoided thinking about her. But now it all came back, especially the guilt that I had not taken care of her. I stayed inside my bed for days, crying my heart out until I decided I had to find her. Maybe she was still alive, so I went to the police and asked them to find out where they had brought my mom 10 years ago. It took them 2 weeks to figure out, but the news wasn't good. My mom had died shortly after we were separated. I can't describe how hard the news hit me. I was absolutely devastated. I knew I was close to giving up and asked myself, is my life worth living? The answer was, no, it's not. But I knew it could become worth living if I got a nice job, found a husband, and had kids someday. Yes, that would be a life worth living. And that's what I'm working towards right now.
One morning, when I went to check my Facebook feed, I realized all my male friends were missing from my friends list, including my cousins, my uncles, and even my dad. I'd given my boyfriend Frank my Facebook login so he could upload some photos, but I didn't think he would mess with my account. When I asked him if he knew about it, he said, "Oh, you noticed they are gone? So you are paying attention to other men. I knew it." What the hell? Frank had deleted all my male friends. Looking back, I should have left him then, but I figured it was just a stupid joke. However, his behavior only got worse. I was working at a marketing agency, and I would take breaks with my coworkers to vape outside. We talked about our various projects and make important decisions during those breaks. Well, one day I got home from work, and Frank confronted me saying, "I saw you hanging out with other guys at work today." Wow. He had stalked me in my workplace, watching me when he should have been doing his own job. Things were getting creepy. I told him he didn't need to be jealous because I wasn't interested in any of my colleagues like that, but he got really angry and punched the wall. I was afraid he would hit me next, so I told him I wouldn't do it anymore. Big mistake. After that, he wanted more and more control over me. Like, he wouldn't let me wear certain clothes like shorts or tight shirts. And then he stopped me from talking to any of my male friends, including Steve.
What time is it?
it.